Secure the damaged area to protect from unwanted intruders. They'll even secure kennel facilities for the family pets. If you travel for business, have elderly parents, or are a seasonal resident, when disaster strikes, Personal Disaster Recovery Service is your advocate on the scene until you personally take charge. So before disaster strikes, reserve your peace of mind today. Personal Disaster Recovery Service is there to help you with the same security and safety plan already in use by most major corporations. For peace of mind, call 1-800-435-7016. That's 1-800-HELP-016. And the first 10 callers to review and activate the PDRS plan will receive a free personal home fire extinguisher. Call 1-800-HELP-016 today and sleep soundly knowing that if disaster strikes, PDRS will be there to help. Dial 1-800-HELP-016 right now.
Updated forecast for this Friday.
A full head of hair. I really want a girlfriend who understands me.
An engagement ring.
New York Lottery asks, hey, New York, what do you really want for the holidays?
I'd pay off my mortgage.
What if you won $25,000?
I'd pay off your mortgage.
What do you want for the holidays?
I really want to go see my boyfriend.
What if you won $25,000?
Honey, I'm on my way.
What do you want for the holidays?
I want to go see my family in El Salvador.
What if you won $25,000?
Book my flight.
This year, give Holiday Grab Bag, the newest instant cash game from the New York Lottery. With 5 games to play and a top prize of $25,000, you can give them a chance to get what they really want.
A diamond necklace.
Happy holidays from New York Lottery.
Give Holiday Grab Bag, the new instant cash game from the New York Lottery, with 5 different tickets and a winner in every pack, and even a chance to win up to $25,000. Stick it on presents. Give it as a gift. Ask your lottery agent for it now.
Hey, we're back. 1310 a.m. Cable Channel 12. Taking your calls to Mary Michelle. Call us here in the studio at 241-1310. We have our first caller on the line already, Mary Michelle.
Great.
This is Francis. Hi, Francis.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm just fine.
I'll give you Francis's birthday, 1913, January 8th. What's your question for Mary Michelle? You're young, Francis. Young at heart is the important thing.
Well, that's the main thing. I was just wondering for this old lady, what about the future? And does it look good? Will I make any money? Will what?
Well, it's interesting you should ask about money. You have the sun in Capricorn, but you also have the moon in Capricorn. And I don't know if you've read some of the characteristics of Capricorn, but Capricorn is a sign that does tend to think about security and money and so on. And the moon in Capricorn will very much reinforce that. The moon is your unconscious, so it's not just your conscious self that thinks about money. You're also, there's a need for it, a nurturing need for it. But usually with the sign of Capricorn, it's a sign that that is able to deal with this. I mean, are you someone that has handled money throughout your life? Do you feel that you have a better...
Well, I've supported myself my entire life, if that's,
That's a lot. That's
went on relief or welfare, none of that baloney.
That's wonderful. I think that's really...
Yeah, I think so, too. I'm a good citizen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You'll continue to be. Okay, it's not going to change. You have Mercury in Sagittarius, which is what I've been talking about today. Mercury is the planet of the mind. So this stuff about Jupiter and traveling in the mind's eye, or reading about distant places or philosophies or just different ideas and so on. Are you someone that's interested in that kind of thing?
Well, I'm interested in just about everything. I love people, love to be out and talk to people, walk all the time, and I find other people's lives interesting, and I try to help as much as I can, and like that. And what about health? So far, it's been good.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with the health. You're going to have what we call the Uranus, the planet Uranus, which was discovered in the 1740s, which is the planet that rules things like television, telephones, radios. It's the higher communicator. Uranus is the highest, it's eventually they say we're going to be able to read each other's minds, telepathy. That doesn't mean that we will allow people to read what we don't want them to read.
Yeah.
But anyway, the planet Uranus is coming back in January, February of this year to the time where it was when you were born. It's an 84-year cycle. So it's a terribly important time for you. And what you will be doing then is you will be reviewing everything that's happened throughout your life, and you'll be thinking of new and probably very unusual ways to continue the things that you're already doing.
Well, I'm still working, if that's something.
That's a lot. This is amazing.
Well, anyway, thank you, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Very much.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Well, thanks for calling, Francis, out there in Mount Kisco. We have another caller on the line. I'm going to get him up here. Hamid, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Hamid's calling from New York City. He's listening to the radio, and his birthday's 1956, June 16th. What's your question for Mary Michelle today?
Well, my question for Michelle is, I'm in the process of signing a contract with a different company that I never worked with before, and I just want to know if it's a good move, because that means also that I have to change countries. I have to move out of one country to another country.
Okay. Hamid, you have the sun in Gemini, as I'm sure you know. You have the moon in Libra, which is a very harmonious angle. You're able to integrate your unconscious and your conscious well. What this can translate as are your instincts. Now, air signs will have a lot of different perspectives on things, and will always want to be looking at things from 16 different points of view, because that's the nature of air. It wants to go in and around things and explore them. But when there's a harmonious angle between the sun and the moon like this, it means that even though perhaps you might initially embrace things that, because of your curiosity, it's pretty rapidly thereafter that you figure out exactly how you are going to work with the people, and whether there's things that work well or not. You are able to sense. Your intuition is very close to the surface, even though, air tends to make you spread out and go in many, many different directions. I would say that right now is a very good time to be negotiating this kind of a deal. I don't see it as something that's probably going to come to any clear fruition until maybe 6 months from now. But it's you're doing the right thing. All these planets in Sagittarius are trining the planet Uranus in your chart, which is in Leo, and Jupiter, which is in Leo, and all the air signs and so on. So you're having very, very clear creative ideas right now. And I think however it is that you choose to structure this deal, you're going to have a great deal of luck on your side.
But in other words, it's all positive.
I'm sorry?
In other words, it's all positive.
It's pretty positive, but the point is that if it's not going to happen for 6 months or so, there might be some frustrating moments.
I'm not expecting it before then, so then it's okay. 6 months is fine.
Yeah. But I think you should, if there are some frustrating moments, you have to keep it in mind that, usually when you're going to do a long-term kind of a deal, it just takes time. So time is a very important factor here, and don't get frustrated if things don't move too fast, because the nature of air signs is they want everything to happen very quickly.
I see.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mary Michelle, and happy holidays to all of you.
Oh, thanks so much for calling.
Thank you, Hamid. Good luck with what's going on in your life. Busy people. Okay, we have another call here on the line. Hello, Celeste. Are you there?
Yes.
Hi, I'm going to give you her birthday, Mary Michelle. It's 1934, November 1st. What's your question for Celeste? She's calling from Mount Kisco.
My question is, I've been looking for employment for 6 months. Will I be able to get employment, or some way to support myself?
Uh-huh.
I have not been doing very well in a few years.
Okay. Well, you've had, with the sun in Scorpio, you've had the planet Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, but it's kind of a tough planet. He doesn't make life easy for anyone. And you've had that going over your sun for probably the last 10 years. So it's not been an easy time for you. Now, it's moved on. So you should already be feeling the ability to reach out. You should be feeling like it's easier for you to, call people, initiate things. Scorpio as a sign is a sign that is quite secretive. You know, the sign of Scorpio is a sign that doesn't like to let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. And, you know, when Pluto was going over the sign of Scorpio, it was enhancing that quality. So, and in many ways, this can be a very positive trait. This is not necessarily a negative thing. I mean, you know, lots of times it's a good thing to not talk too much and let people know what you're thinking or feeling and so on. But now is a time that you can do that. You can really reach out. You have the moon in Leo, you have Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio. You have a lot of planets in Scorpio. So it was really, Pluto was hitting a lot of things in your chart. Let's see, you have Mars in Virgo. Are you interested in health?
Yes. I am interested in health, and I am a caretaker at home. My husband is very ill.
Uh-huh. Well, you're a very good caretaker, and, you know, you will continue to be one. Have you ever done it professionally?
No, I've always wanted to, but I wound up in business.
I'm sorry, you've always wanted to, but what?
I always wanted to, but I wound up working in business, in the business world.
Uh-huh. Well, I think that you ought to look into the healthcare business. You know, Scorpio is a sign that senses people. And in health, I mean, we need it in any work that we do, but in healthcare, of course, I think it adds a little bit of an extra dimension to have a sense of what they're saying may not be what they're feeling. And I think that you could be very helpful. I mean, I know that in healthcare there is a lot of training that goes into it, and it might be intimidating to feel that you have to go back to school or something like that. But I think that there are also in healthcare facilities, particularly alternative healthcare facilities, people that they are very willing to give a chance to, whether they have the education or not. So I would try and do both. If you can get yourself a little more educated in that area. But I would also just go out and look for a job. You know, I would go and, you know, even if it's working in a drugstore for a while, anything to do with the healthcare industry, working with a massage person, working in an area of a health club where you're, you know, sort of helping people to figure out how they feel and not just how to, you know, fix their muscles. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, well, I think you should try that.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck, Celeste. Have a happy holiday. We're going to take a quick break now.
Bye.
But we'll be right back taking your calls here. WVIP 1310 AM and cable channel 12. Stay with us. A lot more to come. Mary Michelle taking your questions, and be right back after these messages. Has the holiday mall madness gotten to you yet? Still searching for that unique gift for the person that has everything? Then Blue Moon is the place for you. With truly the largest selection of Native American and Southwestern jewelry and crafts in the area, we invite you to come in and browse and sign our mailing list to keep you up to date on the various artists visiting our shop. On December 15th and 16th, Blue Moon once again welcomes renowned Aleut beadworker Mary Attu, whose work has been featured in Dances with Wolves. Blue Moon, a slice of Native America and the Southwest in Mount Kisco. Located at 37 Main Street, Mount Kisco. Call for extended holiday hours, 244-3566.
It's 4 a.m. You've got insomnia, and the only thing you can find to read is your car insurance bill. Suddenly you wonder, why am I paying so much? I need to talk to my agent immediately. Unfortunately, your agent's comatose at this hour, so you wait until the sun comes up, only to find that he's at a convention in Bora Bora, and the assistant who could help you just got his tie caught in the fax machine. There is a better way. Just call Geico. Our insurance professionals are ready to help anytime, before breakfast, after dinner and in-between snacks. That's the beauty of Geico's complete 24-hour service. And with one 15-minute call, you could cut your car insurance rates by 15% or more. We'll even give you a line-by-line comparison with your current policy so you can see the savings. Call Geico at 1-800-841-3000. Sure, you won't get any postcards from Bora Bora, but with the money you save, maybe you'll bump into your old agent on the beach. That's 1-800-841-3000. Geico, the sensible alternative.
Boy, oh boy, back again. You're here with us this morning with Mary Michelle, taking your calls. If you have any questions about your astrological predictions for the coming weeks or the coming months, give us a call here at the studio, 241-1310. It's WVIP and cable channel 12 or 1310 AM on your AM dial. Mary Michelle, I have a couple of questions for you. For the holiday season, is it typical that at this time of year, many of the planets do line up the way you're saying 7 planets are lined up?
Well, it is typical, of course, for the planets that are closer, that move in the same cycle as the Earth to be, the moon will always be in the sign of Sagittarius at some point during the time that the sun is in the sign of Sagittarius. Mercury will always be there at some point, Venus. But, to have all of them, to have, let's see, the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto all in the sign of Sagittarius at one time is a little unusual. Usually, 5, it can happen 5 planets or 6 planets, but 7 is a little more than...
a little more than normal.
A little more than normal.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Thank you for that. We're going to bring that caller up here. Hi, Mary, are you there? Mary? Mary? Sorry about that. Mary, are you there? I seem to have not been able to bring up Mary.
Oh, well, never mind. She'll call back. I wanted to talk a little bit about the 4 signs, the 4 elements, and how we can relate to them, how you can relate to them very simply in the cards that you play with.
Okay.
So the suit of hearts in cards. Now, this also relates to the tarot pack. And it's a little hard to know which is older, whether the tarot pack is older or whether the regular playing cards that we use are older. But in any event, what both were about was numbers. Each suit has a certain amount of cards and their numbers printed on them. And also the symbolism that's attached to these different elements, whether it's hearts, which is water, spades, which is air, clubs, which is fire, and diamonds, which is pentacles. And these relate, again, to the 4 elements. Air is spades, which is also the swords in the tarot pack. In the earth is pentacles, is diamonds. Sorry about that. Then we have clubs, which is fire, and it's wands. And then we have, what's the 4th one? Hearts. I think I said that already. Hearts, which is cups, which is water. Anyway, as you can see, these symbols come up time and time again because they're the components that are in our natural surroundings all the time.
I'm going to interrupt you briefly because we have a caller calling from his car phone.
Okay.
And I'm afraid he's going to get out of range. This is Frank. Frank, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
His birthday is December 27th, 1930. Okay. What's your question for Mary Michelle today, Frank?
It's obviously the retirement time. I just wonder what she thinks about it.
Okay. I don't think anything's ever obvious, but if it's the time that you want to retire, I think that's a great thing. December 27th, 1930. Okay, you have the sun in Capricorn. You have the moon in Aries. Mercury in Capricorn. Do you have your own business?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that, you're a very cardinal kind of person. You're someone that likes to run your own show and have your own business. And I think that even if you're thinking of retiring, you will retire in such a way that you will have you will be involved in something that has some sense of leadership attached to it. Do you have hobbies that you were interested in doing?
Mostly volunteering.
Volunteering, okay. I think in whatever way you choose to volunteer, you will be a tremendous help to the organization. I think the hands-on work is something that will be good for you and that you will enjoy doing. But I think that the strength, what you will really bring to the organization that you work with, will be a structure. You will bring them a very strong sense of structure. Let me see. You have Mercury in Sag, Venus in Scorpio. Are you married?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Large family.
Okay. Well, I think that the whatever your attachment to your better half for the last few years, there might have been a little bit of a push-pull there, but it has changed now. It's moved on. There's a much greater ease. So I think that your sense of retirement with the partner might involve some traveling.
That's perfect.
Sounds good to me, Frank.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling.
Thanks, Frank. You take care. And, hey, happy birthday. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
We have another caller on the line here.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up Mary. We got Mary back. Mary, are you there?
Glad you called back, Mary. Thank you.
What's your question for Mary Michelle? I'm going to give you her birth date. 1924, July 2nd. A little 4th of July baby there. How are you, Mary?
Good.
Thank you for calling back. What's your question for Mary Michelle?
I just want to know what life holds in store.
Please say that again.
I just wish to know what my life is going to be like now that I'm a widow.
Uh-huh. I'm very sorry that you're a widow. Let's see, July 2nd. I think the holidays, you're born at the new moon. I think the holidays are going to be a period that, it's not going to be that easy for you. But, the great thing about, I think as we get older, you realize that nothing stays the same, right? Everything changes. And I think that, by the end of the season, by the end of the holiday season, around about the 1st of January or so, you're going to have a whole new perspective on things. Let's see, you have Mercury in Cancer, Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus in Cancer. Do you take care of anybody? Are you taking care of children, grandchildren, friends?
No.
No. There's a side of you, I think, that it would help you a lot if you could be nurturing people in some way. Is there any way in which you could reach out and perhaps help some other people?
I don't know of anyone really.
Well, I think that if you thought about it a little bit, the sign of Cancer, and you have all these planets in Cancer, it's a sign that really enjoys very, very much taking care of others. Whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's just jolling them out of a bad mood, or, changing their point of view on something. There's an attachment. Cancer is something that is a sign. It's a water sign. It's about emotions. It's about really wanting to nurture and mother and care for other people. So I think any way that you can think of to do that, whether it's going to your place of worship or, perhaps working with people less fortunate than yourself, or working with people that are more fortunate than yourself on one level, but in another they may not be. You have to try to reach out and spend as much time with others, because that will satisfy your sense of understanding and the nurturing that you need to do for yourself. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay.
And a very happy holiday to you.
Oh, the same to you.
Take care, Mary. I have a question for you, Mary Michelle. Mm-hmm. I'm a Leo. We haven't had any Leos call yet today. And I'm wondering, with this planetary lineup, you said 7 planets are in line right now. How is that affecting the sign of Leo?
Well, it's. I think one of the reasons why they haven't been calling is because Leo. It's a relatively good time for Leo.
I mean, I've been feeling good lately. I've been fairly healthy, and no black cats crossing my path. But I'm just wondering, as we head into the new year, 96, I personally feel like there's going to be a lot of change going on in 96. Do you see that for the sign of Leo in general?
Well, when the planet Uranus goes into the sign of Aquarius, it's the opposite, so you're going to have to deal with the sign of Leo in general is going to have to deal with a lot of sudden changes. Now, both Leo and Aquarius are fixed signs and the nature of fixed signs.
What does that mean, a fixed sign?
What do you think it means? What does fixed mean?
Well, I mean, obviously it means unchanging.
Yeah.
But what makes Leo a fixed sign as opposed to a sign that is unfixed?
Well, there are three modalities, as we call them. They're cardinal. These are the more leadership, the initiators, the people that start things. Fixed, the ones that hold it together. And mutable, the ones that will go back and forth between here and there and yon. So the fixed signs are, very much a part of the scheme of things. I mean, they're needed. You wouldn't get things done if there weren't fixed signs. But they don't like to change. So
ain't that the truth? I'm living with her every day. I'm like, wake up. Who are you? She just doesn't want to bend sometimes.
Well, but the point is that if it weren't for you, it wouldn't be, other signs would have difficulties in getting things done. Mutable signs, would just never be able to stand still if there weren't fixity in their chart somewhere. So it's important. But anyway, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. So it's about a lot of change. So the only difficulties that a fire sign person might have, or a fixed fire sign person, Leo, would be that there's too much variety. It's all creative and it's all fun, but there is a tremendous amount of variety going on right now, and that can be confusing for a Leo. For an Aries, which is another fire sign, it just means that he can take charge more. Now, Aries is a sign that likes to rule, so with all this. With all of this change and mutability and things being where you can't quite grasp them, it might be frustrating for him because he can't use his creative abilities to the best of his potential or how he sees his potential. But he is still really having a good time with all the creativity that's in the air.
Oh boy, batten down the hatches. We have another caller on the line, but we're going to take a quick break. Mita, stay on the line. We'll be with you. Mary Michelle will answer your questions. Right when we come back after these messages, remember, you're watching WVIP, 1310 a.m. and Cable Channel 12. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Just in time for the holidays, Pins and Needles, conveniently located at 161 Main Street in Mount Kisco. Pins and Needles is stocked with the finest assortment of fabrics, notions, patterns, quilting supplies, and more, featuring Bernina sewing machines and accessories for quality that lasts. All your crafting and sewing supplies can be found under one roof, even sewing lessons from beginner to advanced. For all of northern Westchester County, Pins and Needles, 161 Main Street in Mount Kisco. Open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 6. Thursdays until 9 p.m. Pins and Needles. Call today, 666-0824. That's 666-0824.
Are you looking for unique gifts with a personal touch? Then look to Crafty Characters in Mount Kisco. You'll find incredible values and gifts with a flair for the unusual. Discover personalized children's items, toy chest, rockers, tables, and chairs, stunning handcrafted floral arrangements, beautiful handmade porcelain dolls, and more. Crafty Characters can also accommodate your special order. Whether you need a gift or you're just browsing, Crafty Characters has just what you're looking for. Jewelry, dollhouse miniatures, children's clothes. Come on in, see for yourself. You won't believe the wonderful discoveries you'll make at Crafty Characters, 36 South Mosier Avenue in Mount Kisco. Crafty Characters, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, Sunday, 12 to 4, or call 244-3205. 244-3205 for Crafty Characters.
WV.
We're back. 1310 a.m., Cable Channel 12, WVIP. We have Mary Michelle live and in color, in person, in the studio, taking your questions. If you have a lot of activities coming up on the holidays, not really sure of how the tides will turn for you, give us a call here, 241-1310. And we have Mita on the line. Mita, welcome to WVIP. How are you?
Oh, hello. Fine.
I'm going to give you